What is your biggest takeaway from the program today?
Biggest takeaway is not to be biased. As a diplomat, you shouldn't come with any assumption. Before, when I made my power research, I do not want to work. I don't even have anything in mind to do or to maybe lobby my way around South Africa. But when I joined, I was looking forward to join Nigeria, and then there was no other choice for me than to join South Africa because South Africa was already there, and then my moderator was already talking that I should join somewhere, I should be somewhere, not walking around. So I just have to stick with South Africa. So when I stick with South Africa, every bias, power bias and assumption that I have towards South Africa was laid behind because I had to come with an open mind, made my proper research, and then I figured that South Africa would go a long way in helping me. Their economy is very, very strong. With comparing it with what's going on in Libya, we need a lot of hand on deck there. Yeah, so I was able to put that aside and then work with them. And then later during the session, so when one of a member of my bloc, a delegate from Cameroon, was saying some things and it was coming from a place of pain. We were pained because we didn't expect that they were going to give extra time to the delegate of Uganda. But then we figured that we didn't listen attentively. So next time we need to pay attention and then don't just come with your opinion without any power, fact or proper research.
So another question is, how do your bloc work together to form a draft resolution?
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, I had a bias when I was about to join. The only person that I saw didn't fit in that block that is supposed to work with me is Nigeria. But then when I got there, everyone introduced their problem and then we figured a solution. I figured that even South Africa is experiencing migration to an extent and it has some other things that it can give back to me and then a way that we can collaborate. And then I also figured that Cameroon is experiencing the same thing. So when I got there, we all discussed our issues and then I asked what's the possible solution, what are you looking forward to, and then we started drafting our resolution.
What skill do you learn from today's diplomatic simulation?
Time management and task delegation across team members. We know of you have to delegate as a leader, you have to delegate tasks across your team members and everything. I feel like it really played out for me in today's simulation when we have to form an alliance block. I mean, we have everything written out that we wanted to do, but then because we were not able to effectively delegate, I think that was one thing that hampered our resolution writing out. So I really learned that there is a reason for different roles in an alliance, in a group, and then we have to maximize, fully make use of all of those different roles and then not just put the whole dump of work on one person. That makes the work better.
Can you give us a perspective, a scenario of how it played out and having to focus the whole pressure on one particular person? What's the scenario?
Okay, so we are an alliance of 4 member states: Uganda, Liberia, Seychelles, and and Cote d'Ivoire, right? And we were supposed to have the head of delegates, the speaker, and the rapporteur, but then I was the speaker and then also doubling as the rapporteur. So as I was talking, I was just writing on my laptop, and then that eventually played out in us not being able to write, have a written resolution down. Well, I hinged on the fact that on the rules of procedure, we could use our system so you can bring electric device, but apparently it was not used on the floor today. So let's just make use, next time in such a scenario like this, if we're going to be having more than one rules, right, let's just ensure that it spreads across those rules and then one person is not doing the whole work.
Yeah, absolutely. Lesson learned. What was the most important part of the negotiation process for you?
The most important part of this whole process is the practical aspect, because I'm a student of political science and they've actually taught us the theoretical aspect, and diplomacy is one of the techniques of international relations and international politics, and engaging in a diplomatic stimulation actually helped me gain first-hand knowledge and understanding about how things are being done. I actually led the team and actually spectated because we're actually 4 in the team and they're all girls, so for gender equality the girl actually lead and actually spectated.
I played the role and I participated as the rapporteur.
Okay.
I participated as the rapporteur at my blog, and I was able to notice that we had an outflow of ideas, and I was to pick out the most relevant and the most agreed upon ideas, and that was what we actually had to bring up as a resolution.
Yeah, nice. I also noticed that in the simulation you were you made some intense move in the simulation. So what led up to that actually?
Yes, like I said, my block is block 1. Yes, we had trade giants in Africa, and so when I noticed that, to my wrong assumption, anyways, to my assumption, I did actually not get that the fact that they had actually raised it, and because of the fact we did not, and we have to vote on that resolution. So when I noticed that, I had to just raise up, those points of observation, and to make sure everything is clear. And I like the way it went. I got the right perspective, and at the end of the day, it went very well.
Yeah, it's very necessary that most times we always speak out and to understand that perspective also. Do you understand by youth-led migration according to the simulation?
Youth-led migration is where we have a very, very big amount or large amount or outflow of youths leaving the country. What we call it brain drain, right? Where we have a lot of youths leaving the country due to several issues. Which of those issues led by, we have insecurity, unemployment, poverty rates, and lack of opportunities for the youth. So we see an outflux of youths leaving to find greener pastures. So that's the idea of youth-led migration. And I think I love the way different perspectives are able to tackle and procure solutions to this issue. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. What issue was the simulation trying to address in Africa as a whole?
Okay, it's focused on migration of youths because of insecurity and unemployment in Africa as a region.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you say one more thing about how we can mitigate the issue of youth-driven migration in Africa, and has the simulation played in trying to mitigate the issue of migration in Africa?
Okay. The division of blocks, the creation of several blocks was actually a very beautiful idea because we got to see different delegates bring up and spring up wonderful ideas. One of the things I got was how Morocco has a youth-driven initiative for skills and some of that, and it was made known by many African countries. We even learned from the moderator that Zimbabwe allows its youths and undergraduates to be in their parliament and make decisions for their nation. So I believe that when youths consider where they are, they can thrive and they can make a change, they can make impact. They obviously want to stay. And creation of job opportunities in maybe various ways. We had form of infrastructures. We had in form of water resolution, where you give them, and waste management too, things like that. Yeah.
And today my role was I did the role of a rapporteur and the role of a secretary. So basically my role was just all about taking notes of everything that happened in the simulation.
Yeah, proper documentation.
Proper documentation, and supporting the chairperson with whatever that was necessary at that particular time. So basically it was all about making a proper documentation of today's simulation.
What advice will you give to young people about programs like this?
Okay, this conference is a mind-blowing conference in the sense that even in this little gathering we can see how diplomats and delegates come together to come and address global issues. Even this small gathering we did here today has given us an idea of what ambassadors do outside the country when they have challenges, and how they negotiate with other countries in terms of resolution and stance.
What advice would you give to other young people concerning programs like this?
Okay, I would say that participate in programs like this because it helps. It broadens your mind about different things, about diplomacy in general. Because if you do not participate, you won't know how the structure works, you won't know how the foundation works. So putting yourself in situations like this builds you for better and bigger rooms. This was just a crowd of like 30 people or so, maximum of 30 people. So if I find myself in a room with more people, a lot of people, plentier than this, I would indeed know how to resolve and focus on issues, talk about problems that will be stated on the table, right? Yeah. So sitting in rooms like this will open and pave way for bigger rooms. Yeah. So participate and bigger rooms will come.